All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to optimize your Amazon listings main images to beat your competition using a new AI tool that I used to create automated images that can beat your competition. And I split tested it using PickFu even without a graphics designer. Stick around until the end. I'm going to show you how to do this step by step and the winner that won in this poll. We use AI to entirely create this from start to finish, to run a poll against the competitors, to create new variations entirely using AI based on the existing product, and the variations were locked in. They were not hallucinated, right? You can see they matched. And then after that, we now tested it against the competition and we won. All right, today I'm going to use a couple of AI tools that you can use as well. The first one is OpenClaw. So if you have OpenClaw installed, you know how it's an AI agentic that can super powerful, can do everything for you on your computer. And then the second AI tool I used, which I discovered for this application is even better, is Codex. So Codex is brought to you by OpenAI ChatGPT. Basically, you just need a $20 plan. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to use a case study, a pickleball set. All right, so let's just say that our product is this pickleball paddle set by Oguka, and they're selling 700 units a month, but they have two big competition. One is this brand here that's selling 3,000 units a month, and the other is the bestseller, M10. They're doing 6,000 units a month. So if you're Oguka, what would you do to beat your competition so you can take more of the markets? Okay. So what I did was I first used a tool called PickFu. So PickFu is one of the leading image split testing tools. And what's cool about them is that they can now hook up to your CLI, right? Your command line interface or your MCP. So basically what you do is all you got to do is ask your OpenClaw to just hook it up to the CLI or the MCP and it will connect for you. And the Codex, you can do the same thing. Okay. So if you want to follow along, if you want to get the playbook, go ahead, comment playbook below. I'll share the SOP with you. And that way you can just share it with your OpenClaw or your Codex. Okay. So basically what I did was I asked my OpenClaw to set up the poll for me. Okay, so basically all I had to do was just tell OpenClaw my product, and then I took the images from the two competitors, okay, the competitors you saw here. So I just asked my OpenClaw to take the PickFu skill that we have created, and basically you just give it the images and then ask it to run the poll, and then it creates the whole poll for you. It uploads the images, it types in the question. Imagine you are shopping on Amazon for a pickleball set, which image would make you most likely to click or buy and why. So basically it can run everything for you. So that's step one. It will run the first poll against your competition. So based on that, saw that there were 15 responses, but there was a three-way tie. Each one of the three pickleball sets got the same number of votes, 555. So no clear winner yet, according to OpenClaw. So next step should be to generate 3 improved options, then run more quick 15-person variant tests. And then it recommended some next image options. So a bright complete kit, option 1, premium sport kit, option 2, and a balanced Amazon hero. And then it also included image prompts and creative briefs, etc. And then recommended next move would be to generate images D, E, and F variations from the prompts, inspect for product fidelity to make sure it's not hallucinating on the product, and then draft the second PickFu poll for approval. So basically after that, I asked it to go ahead and do it, and it started generating some images. So these images were generated using OpenClaw, and it's running on ChatGPT 5.5. Okay, that's the latest version. And by the way, that's the #1 image generating tool as of right now, as of May 2026. Nano Banana Pro is no longer the leader. This is based on my own personal test. And also, I've been talking to one of the leading creators of AI listing optimization tools, this software developer, someone that I respect, someone that's like a multiple, someone speaker on Seven Figure Seller Summit. So you can see these images were all generated inside OpenClaw. Okay. And then I just go back and forth, and then I want to generate more images. But then there was a problem. Okay. So as you see, these images are black. These are blank. These are not the same ones as the one as our product, right? So basically these are unusable, right? And then it also changed the bag and it changed like these things. I don't even know what these are, right? We don't even have these hooks and all this stuff. I mean, basically you wanted to generate from what you have, right? So I said the color is wrong, the bag is wrong, see the original, please redo. Okay. And then I got frustrated, and then, it started generating some more images. We went back and forth. So I'm not going to say, hey, this is just like a one-shot deal and it's going to work. But ultimately, we were able to generate these images with the hang tag. And I asked it to check out the product listing for the benefits and check out the reviews for what people are looking for. So it was good. But to be honest, with OpenClaw, it took a lot of time. It wasn't fast. Okay. So then I thought to test another app called Codex. So Codex is OpenAI's version of Claude Code or Claude Cowork, and it's a super app. Basically, it can do everything for you. It's AI agentic tool. The cool part about Codex is that the ChatGPT Image Gen 2 that is built into it. Okay, so you can literally have Codex generate the images for you. Okay. So what I did was I did the same thing. I asked Codex to install the CLI, the PickFu CLI, and it was able to do that. And basically, it installed it, and then it learned the skill, and then I gave it the results from the first poll. I gave it the images, and I also gave it a swipe file of 99 best visual references for your Amazon listing. You want to give it some context, guys, about, where are some examples of images that you want it to create. Okay. So that way it will create the right images for you. And then you're going to have to push it a little bit. Okay. Just as if you were pushing a real graphics designer. But the cool part is the AI can do like everything for you, that literally it can replace your graphics designer. Okay. So based on that, it started generating, you can see these images, right? But at first I wasn't satisfied. I said, these images are too similar. I need one variation that's more aggressive. And also, can you put a tag on the back and call it the biggest benefit, right? So it started doing that, right? So it generated these hang tags, okay? I know, this is kind of gray area. It's not like totally Amazon TOS compliant, right? But at the same time, hey, you got to push the envelope a little bit. And, I'm not going to say this is black hat, but if you look at competitors, this is what the state of the landscape of Amazon selling as of right now. So you need to push the envelope. You need to test to see what works. So the next steps it would do is to lock these 3 test angles. So option D is the aggressive scroll stopper, hang tag complete set for 4. Option E is complete kit clarity. Option F is premium high value look. So the goal right now in step 2 is to generate 3 different better product variations for your product. In this case, the colorful paddle, the pickleball paddle set, right? And then it started coming up with, these better variations, right? Okay. So after that, I just checked, hey, do we have the PickFu MCP API hooked up? It said, no, it wasn't hooked up. And then literally it just connected, and then it just did it, right? Can you just find CLI, right? And then it just found, so basically to hook it up, you just ask it to hook it up. Okay. And then the next step, like it will already know like the skill. So it knows, okay, the next step, we got to create these, to upload these 3 selected DEF files. Okay. So basically it created these files for you. All right. So it literally, it created these different variations, right? And then it created the poll. Okay, so this is the second poll that it created based on the 3 variations. So it created the poll, it ran the poll, and then it polled 30 people. So out of the 3 variations, this one was the winner with 63% of the votes, 14 votes, 10. That is option A. Okay. You can see all of the AI insights below. You can see the reasons why people picked this. Like, this was a bit tricky survey. I feel all three images showcase the pickleball paddle well. I would give a slight edge to option A. So it wasn't a landslide, but you can see option A was still a winner, right? So people like the presentation of the pickleball paddles. One was angled differently, showing you the tag complete set for 4 in option A, gives you a dynamic view of the paddles and feels more informative, okay? So also the cool part is the AI will interpret the data for you as well, right? You can see here the poll went live, right? And then did you see the results came in? And then it said, yeah, 30 responses, and the result, the D aggressive complete seventh place votes. So it said my read A wins, but the useful takeaway is not just use A. Buyers liked A because it felt closer, more dynamic, and the complete set for tag 4 helped. But several voters liked B because it was cleaner and easier to understand, which is true, right? It's a little bit cleaner and easier to understand. So, recommendation would be to make the next final production version based on A, but borrow from B. Keep the aggressive angle paddle layout, keep the complete set for 4 tag, and make the accessories slightly cleaner and less crowded. Keep the product proportions consistent so it does not feel distorted, and preserve the included clarity. And it linked up the poll. So then I asked it, okay, so what does the PickFu skill say to do next based on this? And then it gives me the suggested next steps. Okay, so it would be to create one final hybrid production image, A2's aggressive layout and B's clean clarity, right? And it asked me, hey, we should run a second poll. And I said, no, I don't think we need to run a second poll of these 3 variations. I think we should just take the winner and just run it against the 2 competitors. This way we can see if we beat them, because the first round was a 3-way tie, right? So I asked it to give me an analysis, and then it said, okay, it recommended option 2. So create one final A2 image from the winning A direction, and then run it against the 2 marketplace winners. Okay, the 2 marketplace leaders from the first poll. So basically it did exactly that. So it created this better variation. Okay, it went ahead and it ran it. I said, okay, that's approved. Please run it against competitors, draft the poll. Okay, so then it drafted the poll, and then it went ahead and published the poll live. So at the time of this recording, I have 29 out of 30 responses. Basically, you can see here the new image that was completely generated using this AI workflow that I created is the winner, right? It's beat out the original variation, 14 votes to 3 votes from 29 responses so far. And it beat out the 2 competitors. Okay, so 14 votes versus 5 votes for competitor C, 7 votes for competitor D. And you remember, competitor D is the #1 bestseller. That's the one that's selling 6,000 units a month as of right now. So there you go. We have a winner. We use AI to entirely create this from start to finish, to run a poll against the competitors, to create new variations entirely using AI based on the existing product, and the variations were locked in. They were not hallucinated. You can see they matched. And then after that, we now tested it against the competition and we won. Okay, so if you want to do this yourself, I included a link to PickFu where you can sign up to run these polls. And if you want to grab the SOP how to do this, go ahead and comment playbook below. All right, so this is how we do listing optimization 2026 entirely using AI. No need for any graphics designers. I'll see you at the next video.